Hello everyone, Yuri Angels here, and in this video we are going to be reacting to fan art of ships from the Marauders era of Harry Potter. So if you don't know the Marauders era, this will have some spoilers, I guess. If you haven't read Harry Potter, it definitely has spoilers. The main thing is that everyone's dead, so it's just going to be a very depressing video. A brief disclaimer that everything I know about the Marauders fandom comes from these three YouTubers. So the first one does amazing video essays explaining the Marauders fandom, which is how I know most of what I know. So please go check her out. They're insanely underrated. This account, amazing cosplay, mostly Wolf Star, sometimes stuff with all the Marauders, so go check them out as well. And then this other one is pretty well known because they're trying to like make a lot of videos, like fan films, and they have like fundraisers and stuff so that they can make like really high quality stuff. I think they're currently fundraising for the prank, so you should go check them out, donate if you can. Yeah, that's where all of my information comes from, and I just realized that the book is in my camera frame. That's better. I have my camera on a stack of books. So I have not actually read All the Young Dudes, which is the fan fiction that the entire fandom is kind of based around. I haven't read any fan fictions, but I do know about some of them from these videos that I've seen. So we're just gonna go through them all. They're not a complete blind reaction. I did save these like a week ago for this video. And we're gonna go through them by ship. So the first ship we're going to do is Jegulus, for no particular reason. So I do also have my phone right here, and I'm looking at the art on it, but I'll also put the art here. So I can't actually see what James is saying, but on the top we have James and Remus. And then on the bottom we have Sirius and Regulus. And this almost looks like it's at the Black Manor, which is a little weird because I don't know why James and Remus would be there. But I'm just gonna go like completely on a whim here. I have no idea what I'm saying. I'm gonna say that in this universe, Sirius is not roommates with James and Remus and Peter. He has some random other Gryffindor friends. And this is during the summer. And James got invited to this party at the Black Manor because he's a pureblood, and the Black family is trying to make purebloods stay pure, so they're trying to like influence them, I guess. And James just decided to go to annoy them, and he brought, I don't ship them, but he brought his boyfriend, Remus. And what we can see in the dialogue is that Sirius says, "Tall one's mine," and Regulus says, "Fine by me." And as we can tell, Remus is the tall one. So I am imagining Sirius and Regulus are off to the side of this party. Sirius loves attention. He does not love his family, and by extension, he does not love people who love his family. And I think that because the Black family sucks, I think there are a lot of transphobes here, and Regulus is just not having a good time. Sirius was being a good older brother and kind of like, okay, like I'll hang out with you on the sidelines. And then in come James and Remus, and the two of them are like, oh, we're gay. Once they get back to Hogwarts, it's kind of gonna become like a plot where Sirius tries to befriend James and Remus because he's a Gryffindor, and then he kind of gets like Regulus in, and it's like, hey James, why don't you talk to Regulus? And their whole game kind of becomes like, can we break up James and Remus and each date one of them? And eventually that does work out. Okay, so now we have a slightly spicier one. So we have Regulus yelling, "I'll hex you!" And then James responds, "You're beautiful. I'll hex you. You're beautiful." Definitely like a little spicy. I'm sensing some angst. I feel like they had to have been dating or at least kissed or something at this point. So I'm wondering if like James said something that pissed Regulus off, and this was Regulus's response, and James is like, yeah, okay. We've been through this before. Can you just kiss me already? Because Regulus looks really angry, and James is like blushing and just looks like in love. So it's very cute. I like it. I really like it. Okay, so I guess this is an AU, because as we know canonically, James and Regulus do not move in together. I do think the details in this are really nice. We have these two mugs, and one of them has a star, which I guess would be like Regulus because of like the constellations in the Black family names and stuff. And then we have one that says chaser, because James is a chaser on the Quidditch team. And James is saying, come to bed, love. Regulus looks very tired, not super happy. So I think this has just been a bad day for Regulus. This is after Hogwarts. It's not like an AU outside of Hogwarts. You can tell from the chaser mug. Kind of like instead of instead of James and Lily living together, it's James and Regulus. Regulus hasn't been sleeping enough. I think he's struggling mentally. James is trying to keep a positive attitude about it. Clearly, someone was making tea. I don't know which of them. I guess it would be Regulus because James is trying to get him to go to bed. So Regulus was just kind of chilling on the counter, not super happy. And James was like, come on, like, go to bed. You're not getting enough sleep. I'm kind of getting Solangelo vibes here, where Nico is never getting enough sleep. And Will's like, Nico, sleep now, please. Okay, so this one has a lot more text. We're gonna do an in-character reading of it. Will you marry me? We're already engaged. I know, but will you marry me? Yes, I'll marry you. And I decided not to do accents on that because I'm not in the mood to do accents, but James would have a British accent. I headcanon Regulus to have a French accent. Will you marry me? We're already engaged. I know, but will you marry me? Yes, I'll marry you. I think, once again, this is an AU where Regulus kind of takes the place of Lily. So everything else is the same. It's just instead of living and marrying Lily, James lives with and marries Regulus. You know, one way this could be interpreted is that James is drunk and doesn't remember that he's engaged to Regulus, but I honestly don't think that. I think they're both sober. And I think they just had like a really nice date night. It looks like they might be like dancing, you know, in their house. I don't think either of them can dance, so I think this would be very funny to watch. And I think James is just so in love. I just want to ask Regulus to marry me again. And Regulus understands because he had the same date night with James and he's also just madly in love right now. And he's like joking, kind of like, we're already engaged. And then he's like, yes, like, of course I'll marry you. It's so cute, but they both die. I want everyone to be happy, but happiness does not exist in the Marauders fandom. Oh, okay, so we've got some Quidditch stuff going on here. I thought Regulus played Quidditch, so we're gonna look that up. So Regulus is the Seeker for the Slytherin team, so I guess Slytherin isn't in this match because it looks like James either was playing or is about to play. Probably there's no, like, they're not celebrating victory or defeat. So I think the game hasn't started yet and James is gonna go out and he's playing against either Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff. So Regulus is wearing a sweater, which is red, which is the, like, Gryffindor color, and it says Potter. There is the snitch, which seems like it would be Regulus because James is a chaser. So I don't think this is a specific scene. I think this is just like kind of an artistic rendition. Wait, am I losing my mind? Is James... Wait, James might be a Seeker. No, James is a chaser. Wait, this one says that James was a Seeker. Okay, apparently there's some dispute about whether James is a chaser or a Seeker. If anyone knows where that confusion came from or if there's an answer, please tell me. I would love to know. So I think in this version, they're both Seekers, which would be why there's a golden snitch, which is a cool parallel. I can see how Jegulus fans might have James playing a Seeker. Oh, this one's so sad. I have so many sad headcanons that could go to this. Okay, so Regulus's wand was on Lumos. And James's wand is just sitting there. So they both have their wands down. Regulus looks very sad. James is trying to comfort him. Poor Regulus is in that, like, position. Oh, you guys can't actually see me. Regulus was walking around at night, not happy. I don't think this is at Hogwarts. I think James is just wearing his Quidditch uniform. Maybe they, like, just graduated. What is under James's foot? Is that, like, a mini quaffle? I can't actually tell what's under James's foot. So I think Regulus was up, maybe reading. He was upset about something. And James got home late and thought Regulus was in bed, but he wasn't, which is why James got scared, pulled out his wand. So that's why both of their wands were out. It looks like their wands were dropped, which makes me think that Regulus was, like, really on edge. Really not having a good time. So when James saw him, he just, like, dropped his wand, ran to Regulus, started comforting him immediately and asking him, like, what's wrong? What can I do? Oh, this is making me so sad. Okay, I'm hoping the next one might be happier. Okay, okay. This looks like it could be happier. You're so cute and pretty. I could beat the out of you. I know, with a little heart. You're so cute and pretty. I could beat the shit out of you. I know. This is for sure going off of the enemies to lovers trope, which I do love. We do have a Gryffindor tie and a Slytherin tie, both around the bed frame, but this is not Hogwarts, okay? Hogwarts does not have beds like this, except maybe in the infirmary. So this is either during a break from Hogwarts or after Hogwarts and they still have their ties, but I'm gonna say it's an AU where Regulus ends up at James's house, and that's why they both have their Hogwarts ties. We do have a bunch of books up there that make me question if this is actually James's bedroom, but I think it is because I don't know why James would be at the Black Manor. Maybe Regulus brought all his books with him. Regulus's hand is on James's leg. It looks like his eyes are closed, but his feet are up in the air, which is not very comfortable. I think they're propped up on the wall, but still, you can't actually fall asleep like that, so I think they're just kind of both tired, resting, goofing around, cuddling. So this one is at Hogwarts. I think that this is one of the common headcanons where Regulus has to help James study. James ends up seducing Regulus in the process. They were both looking at the book, and James looked up and was like, hey, Regulus. He'd already been flirting for like a bit, and then Regulus looks up and is like, oh, he's right there. Regulus like looks away. If they had kept looking for like 2 more seconds, they would have kissed, but they don't. Okay, first of all, I love James having a bit of like an undercut around his ears. Are you mad? What do you think? I think I'll kiss you. Are you mad? What do you think? I think I'll kiss you. That's an adorable dynamic. I absolutely love it. This, I think, is some kind of AU. They're all AUs, but I mean an AU from like the most typical Marauders timeline and headcanons. I think this could very easily be college students. Okay, this is what I think they were fighting about. I think it's the weekend and James wants to sleep and Regulus wants to study, and he went out to get coffee. James is like, come on, let's just like play around, like cuddle with me, hang out with me. Regulus is like, no, I need to study. James is like, I think I will kiss you, because that will make Regulus not mad at him anymore. Regulus, in my opinion, is also the kind of person to get very hangry. So I think a huge part of their dynamic would be Regulus being like, I hate you, and James being like, have you eaten? Aww, this one's so cute. It has a little J and R. Regulus looks very hesitant, but also very in love. I think they're already dating. I think right now Regulus is trying to like make the first move, which usually James does. James looks very patient and also very in love. Regulus is not very confident, but he's trying. I love this. I think this is based off of a popular fanfiction. But because I haven't read any of the fanfictions, we get to make up our own story for it. They had a fight. Regulus ran out of the house. He's staying at James's house. James is like, you know what, I need to go get Regulus back. And then they're gonna have a cute like kiss in the rain. Ooh, spicy. I think this is in the library of Hogwarts. And then they realized there wasn't anyone in the library, at least not in that corner, and decided to turn it into a little makeout session. We have a bracelet with a stag on it on Regulus's wrist. The detail! James has a star on his bracelet, which is Regulus. That is adorable. Ooh, okay, we've got some sneaking around. I honestly can't tell if this is Jegulus or Wolfstar, but it's in the Jegulus section of my photos, meaning I had searched Jegulus. We can see Lily in the background and some other characters, but it's too blurry to actually make out what Lily's saying. I think they've got to be at least semi-open about their relationship. People are gonna see them. I don't have much to say about it. It's not giving me much of a plot because it's so blurry. Aww, okay, this one's so pretty. I love, love, love this style of art. This is beautiful. Regulus looks very distracted, like he is not focused on the book. Okay, there's 2 ways this could go. They could be reading a book where like James is holding it and Regulus is reading it out loud. Or this could be James reading Regulus's poetry, but I feel like Regulus wouldn't want to be there when James is reading it, and he definitely wouldn't want to also see the book. So I think they're reading a book together. They're both reading this book, and Regulus is a little distracted with James and how in love with James he is. Ooh, this one gives us a ton to go off. This is Regulus's bedroom because we have the trans flag and we also have a little sticky note that says, "Love you, James." However, James has made himself at home as there is his shoe under the bed. That is so James. I don't know a lot about bands, but there's definitely a lot about bands in this. They look like teenagers who live in more of a modern era. I do know that the Marauders fandom kind of breaks the timeline a bit. I'm just gonna say that this is a college AU. This is Regulus's dorm. James is visiting and just made himself at home instantly. And he visits a lot, that's why his shoe just kind of lives under Regulus's bed. Super detailed. Like, this is impressive. I'm not an artist, but this is really impressive. Ooh, okay. Very different vibe now. One thing I'm not sure about, I don't know why in a lot of these Regulus is attacking James. I would have expected it to be the other way around because Regulus is a Death Eater. We also have Regulus like gripping James's hair very firmly and they're very close to kissing. We're gonna try to make this a little happy. They had a fight. It escalated. Regulus kind of pulled out his wand like, "James, you listen to me." James is just kind of like, yeah, I know you're not actually gonna hurt me. James looks very passive in this. And Regulus was crying kind of during the fight. You can still see a bit of anger in his face. But now they're about to kiss and make up. Or make out. Or both. Make up by making out. Aw, this one's sweet. Okay, I love that there's still at least some happiness. This has details, so we're gonna look at them. This is Hogwarts because we have Regulus's Slytherin tie. Otherwise, I would have headcanoned this to be college because of the coffee. I just associate coffee with college. The book is upside down and blurry and stuff, but it says Queer Wizards in History. I am trying to figure out why James just has a cup of coffee while kissing his boyfriend. They have matching watches, and Regulus's has a star, and James's has a sun. Wait, I just realized Regulus is wearing James's sweater. I love that. I definitely think Regulus is very formal when he's at Hogwarts and around his house because that's how he's grown up. But when he's like comfortable around James, he is just wearing like oversized shirts and hoodies. I think that's adorable. I'm gonna say they were studying. Actually, I'm gonna say Regulus was studying. James was reading that book. Regulus read it and recommended it to James, and even though James hates reading, he decided to read it for Regulus. But he also had schoolwork to do, and he had a cup of coffee because he was trying to stay up late to do schoolwork and read this book. And eventually they both got tired. James kind of like flopped backwards on the bed. He was reading on the foot of the bed and flopped backwards with the coffee in his hand, and he kind of like put the book to the side. And then Regulus was at a desk, and Regulus comes over and is like, "Here, let me give you some more energy," and starts kissing him. They're gonna get distracted kissing. That coffee is going to spill. I guarantee you the coffee is going to spill. James is not going to finish his schoolwork. Regulus is going to stay up even later finishing his schoolwork. No, now we're back to sad art. Okay, let's look at the details. James has tattoos. So there's a heart with a banner in it that says Mom. And there are 2 stars. One has an R and one has a J in it. So they've been dating for at least a few months if James has already gotten a tattoo. But I think he's the kind of guy to get a tattoo after just a few months of dating. So it could be any time after that. They also have necklaces. So James has a gold star that says R. Regulus has a silver necklace with a sun on it that says J. I'm not sure if this is a specific scene so much as like an artist concept, because there's not much with the scene. They're just outside in some field. And I could create a whole plot for it, but I don't really want to. I think that Regulus is the tired one though. I think James is just kind of like relaxing, and Regulus was the one who was tired and kind of curled up on top of James. Regulus is asleep. James is just like resting his eyes. I also think Regulus has a lot of trouble sleeping, and he has a lot of nightmares, and he only really feels safe in James's arms, which is why James is holding on to him so protectively. I did just notice another tattoo on both of their hands. We're back to sadness. So James has a tattoo on the inside of his wrist that says RAB. Regulus has one that says JFP. They're each other's initials, if you didn't know that. And it wouldn't be quite so sad if we didn't have the RAB locket stuff. Still, this is just so cute. I love how Regulus just looks like so trusting. James is really protecting Regulus and saying like, you can sleep, you can relax, I won't let anyone hurt you. Oh, okay. This could be a scene from a fanfiction. It's a little hard to see what's happening in here, but we have Regulus, I love you, and James, prove it. Classic fanfiction dialogue. Beyond that, I can't make out much other than their expressions aren't really matching the dialogue. Like, I would expect this to be like, I love you, prove it. But their expressions is making it seem more like they're sad, which I don't know why James would be challenging Regulus. I love you, prove it. I'm not sure. This is the only one I'm not like a huge fan of. I like the fan art. I just don't like the quote with the fan art. Oh, okay, James has a mission to kiss Regulus, and he is not letting anything get in the way, and Regulus is crying. I don't know why James looks so determined to kiss Regulus. Like, this is just two very different moods. Regulus is crying, and James looks like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kiss you, we're gonna make out, it's gonna be awesome. I feel like if he wasn't like almost half smirking, this would work a lot better. I don't know why I'm suddenly being very critical of the last two. Most of these I love. Like, the art is absolutely amazing. In this one, I really wish it was more of like a comfort thing. That is my absolute favorite kind of fan art, where like one of them is crying and the other is comforting them. Okay, now we're back to some cute fan art. This isn't really a scene. I don't think the artist wrote it with a scene in mind, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this is another college AU. I think I might have a problem with college AUs. They're going to Pride, which is why Regulus has a trans flag in his pocket. I think Regulus wears the Pride flag pin just all the time, and the Pride flag bracelet. They both look happy, it's cute, but there isn't much I can do with this art story-wise, but I do love it. It is absolutely adorable. We've got a bit of a plot in this one. It's like a mini comic. Don't look at me like that. Like this. And then they start kissing. Definitely a study session. I have decided this is a study session. They're in the library. James keeps getting distracted, looking at Regulus as opposed to looking at the books. At this point, they're deep enough into studying that they're friends, and then James decides to make a move. I think this is like they both just went for it. They both started kissing each other. It wasn't one made the first move, although James did with the dialogue. Also, either Regulus is in Gryffindor in this, or he is wearing one of James's sweaters. I'm gonna say they weren't dating though. I'm gonna say he was just cold and James took off his sweater and gave it to him. He's also blushing, which I think is adorable. I think he definitely knows that James likes him, but wasn't expecting James to make a move then, which is why his face looks so surprised, but then he was like, I'm just gonna go with it. This is either quotes from a fan fiction or it is inspired by some kind of fan fiction. I know there's a whole thing with the Marauders fandom and stars. If that's a wolf star thing, let's do this dialogue. I feel like I'm holding a star. That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. That's cute. I'm not gonna give this one a story because I'm getting a little tired. They're definitely dating. James is just being all lovey-dovey. Ah, okay, this one's cute. And I have decided it is an AU because James is in a Spider-Man costume. Thus, it is an AU in my head. I don't know why that automatically makes it an AU, but I just don't think at Hogwarts he would wear a Spider-Man costume. He would, but like I said, I think this is another college AU, and I say that because Regulus just looks so tired, and that definitely looks like college vibes, like with the oversized shirt. I don't think this is Halloween, because I feel like Regulus would be dressed up also if it was Halloween. I'm not sure. Their expressions are like giving a lot, but I can't seem to pick up on exactly what they're giving. I mean, I'll tell you the vibes I'm getting, I just can't put it into a coherent story. I think James is a little embarrassed, like, is Regulus gonna like this costume? Do I look like an idiot? And Regulus is really tired, but also so in love with James. He's like, I love this. We're getting a picture so I can admire you in this outfit forever. And then I'm going back to sleep. But I'm not sure why James would be embarrassed about being in a Spider-Man costume. Okay, this is beautiful. Beautiful art style. Absolutely incredible. I love this so much. So this was a Quidditch match that Regulus did not play in. Gryffindor won from the confetti, and James immediately rushed to find Regulus, and Regulus did the same. They kind of meet on the edge of the field. James just grabs Regulus's face, stares into his eyes lovingly, and then kisses him on the field. And I think that is their first kiss in public. I think James was at least partially responsible for winning. He either like stopped the other seeker from getting the snitch. Because let's be honest, the only real way to win Quidditch, unless the match goes on forever, is to get the snitch. So somehow James either helped the seeker get the snitch, or he is the seeker in this version. Somehow he's responsible for winning. Regulus was cheering him on with a Gryffindor tie. I'm gonna say he borrowed it from Remus or Lily to surprise James with. And he's wearing Gryffindor face paint on one cheek but Slytherin on the other. Just as kind of like a nod to the fact that, yeah, I'm in Slytherin, but I'm cheering my boyfriend on. Yay, more happy art! Pride AU. It's modern, they're going to Pride. James is bisexual in this. I've seen bisexual, pansexual. Regulus is trans. He has a skeleton shirt on, which is once again giving Solangelo. James looks a little startled by this kiss. It was definitely Regulus who went into it, but I think they were posing for a picture. Regulus grabbed James and pulled him in to kiss, and that's how the photo came out. They are literally both covered in stickers, as well as a few tattoos, but most of these are stickers. Regulus has the demisexual pride flag sticker, a trans pride sticker, and another one that I can't really make out the colors of, but it could be the genderqueer flag. And James has the bisexual flag. Also, Regulus has a cobweb tattoo on his elbow, and I'm not sure if he got that with the meaning in mind. Because Regulus never goes to Azkaban, so even if this is an AU, it doesn't make sense for him to have served that many years in prison. So maybe he just got it because he wanted to? I'm not good with tattoos. But this is a cute, very detailed piece of fan art, and clearly the author has a lot of headcanons about these characters. Did I say author? I meant artist. So that is it for Jegulus fan art. Now we're going to move on to one that's pretty similar. We're going to go to Jegulily.